Vibe coding and Apple hosting. This is one of the major concerns that's been brought up by a lot of developers across the world in different forums. We must have been saying that why is Apple rejecting the vibe coded apps? And what no one tells you. Why no one tells you that? Yes, this is one of the things that we'll explore today. And it's very important for all the startup founders and the stealth founders who feel that they could vibe code or get the applications vibe coded and put it up on the Apple Store. It's not that Apple is outright rejecting what you build with vibe coding. No, Apple has its own security features and laid down rules and regulations that it wants to follow always to make sure that what you build is good for the customers or good for the users. Now, before you submit, think over. Have you built an app using AI? A big question. And do you know the reason why you think that it will be rejected by Apple? This is one thing you should explore today. Now, Apple's actual problem is not about vibe coding. Apple doesn't care how you create the codes. What Apple cares about is what the app does after it's downloaded and installed from its App Store. Because the App Store is a sign of security, it's a sign of trust, and they don't want to break that. If your app changes its behavior after approval, then it's a red flag for you. It's very difficult for you. You won't get through the loops. Now, what you are not allowed to do, you cannot download new codes and execute it later. You cannot change the features of any app without the App Store reviewing that. And finally, you cannot run external scripts or mini apps within your apps. Apple requires you and your app to be self-contained. Everything that you want to run must already be there in the app submission. The Apple team should be able to review that. Nothing can happen after that. See, why Apple is so strict about this? Because they don't want you to run some hidden or harmful code and that reaches their customers, the Apple customers. Apple reviews must equal what users get. If the review team sees something, that should be equal to what the customers will be getting. There should be no changes in that. So, no app inside the app, no mini apps within your apps, no kind of mini Apple marketplaces. The Apple marketplaces or store marketplaces is something that normally doesn't happen with lots of SaaS providers. But yes, many of them, when you build it through AI and vibe coding, during the coding phase, it builds mini apps within that which are executed after the apps are downloaded. And this is one of the major reasons most of the codes written by AI is being blocked by Apple. Apple knows it. It's not secure. See, any vibe coding is basically codes being generated by looking at the back data that's being trained on and building over that. It's not direct human logic or direct logic for any particular independent app. What's done before is being rebuilt with a mixture of data from multiple apps. The vibe coding concept is you put on a prompt, you generate the code and you execute it. Now in this, many a times what happens, on the fly directly these codes execute within the application. And this is what violates the Apple rules. Whereas if it's a human coder, he doesn't run inside an application. He writes the code openly, which is 100% available to reviewing team, and everything runs within that. The same ecosystem, the applications ecosystem, everything runs. Nothing goes out of that. Or there is a mini set of codes written which is normally not executed, can be executed directly within the application as a mini app. These functionalities are not allowed. This is where the major hiccup is coming today when Apple Apple is actually strict about what they want. And now they are getting stricter by this vibe coding concept, because they know in this it's not totally user generated or human generated code. There are a lot of things that may be built in which needs to be reviewed. That's the reason many times you find that Apple approval process takes time. Now I'll give some real world examples of what is rejected. User types build me a calculator, the app generates and runs it, the Replit style of mobile app builders. In this, some of the executable UIs are run within runtime. It's not allowed. Whereas an app built using AI but with fixed features at runtime, there is no additional features like a food delivery app, a CRM or SaaS tool with stable functionality. No additional functionalities pop up when you run this app. In simple terms, it is any app whose behavior doesn't change post-install. The behavior of the app remains stable. It's like what the reviewing team in Apple sees is what the user sees and what runs on the user's devices. There should be no change. In dynamic contents are always allowed. No, we are not against, the Apple is not against the dynamic content. News articles loading from a server or UI content updates, the text, the images, the data, remote configuration of display values, those things are allowed. They are fine with that. But what is not allowed is the app logic changing dynamically. Enabling or disabling features after review by the app team and approval. Running the codes that was not in the original binary codes. These are the things that go. It's very simple. There should be 100% full transparency in what is being delivered to a customer, or there is no access, it's blocked. That's the thing. The biggest confusion is that normal developers or the founders who get it built is, AI built my app, so it should be approved, it should be correct. No, that logic is wrong. Apple doesn't check who built it. Apple checks what your app does after the installation or after the approval once it is installed by a user, what it does. That is what is manually checked by Apple. They're pretty strict on that. The simplest route to remember is app changes itself after download, forget it, it's never approved, it's rejected. App is fixed and stable. The same thing that the reviewing team sees is what the user sees, it's approved. That's it, this is the whole new rule. Vibe coding is good for speed, but Apple Store is built on control and trust. You know, we don't even use antiviruses on Apple devices. It's because the applications that run through the reviewing team is pretty secure. They take care of the security. And you are not allowed to install additional applications from outside on your mobile devices. So, mix both with structure and you will get blocked. Get the structure right before you build. If you are planning to launch an app store, beware of this. Don't guess this part. Fixing a rejected app is in fact pretty expensive, because bug fixing on a vibe coded app is a long thing. It takes a lot of effort, time, it's slow and also demoralizing. So go for the right way of building it, build with developers, get it done for you the right first time. believe on the developers and use their expertise and capabilities while developing an application which you want to run on Apple Store. And that's where success comes with you. Live coding is not always 100% right. You may find, you can search these keywords and you will find a lot of resources on the net with a lot of developer communities, very prominent communities talking about this. Any more clarifications or support you need in building your apps manually? Get in touch with us and we can support you. Do forward this video and share it to your friends and founders who are thinking of building with Vibe. Thank you and have a nice day.